Hey y'all, Mike back here with another stock strategy explained, and today we're going to be talking about Nikola. Nikola? I don't really know how to pronounce it. Before we begin, let me know down below in the comments, do you have this stock, and if so, why? Also, let me know down below what other stocks you care about, what other stocks you want me to do an analysis on. And make sure you like and subscribe for more future updates on other stocks and other stock strategies. Just a legal disclaimer, this is not legal, tax, financial, or investment advice. Make sure you do your own research before you do any sort of investment. I am not a financial or investment advisor. And with that, let's dive right into Nikola's product lineup. So first up, we have the Tre, which is a smaller truck focused more on the European market. This has about a 250 to 300 mile range, and it comes in a battery electric configuration and also a hydrogen fuel cell configuration, which we'll touch on and is very important for this video, and we'll touch on that in a bit. The other thing is there's no price yet announced for this truck. The other truck that we should take a look at is the Nikola Two, which is their flagship product. And this is their bigger truck intended for the US. It's the classic semi-truck that you see on the roads that go across states and transport a lot of goods. They have about a 500 to 750 mile range, which is pretty good, especially when you compare it to Tesla's semi-truck. Also, for a little bit of reference, the Freightliner Cascadia, which is the most popular semi-truck that runs on gasoline, has over 1,000 miles range and up to 1,500 mile range. The other thing to note is this truck only comes in a hydrogen fuel cell configuration, which again, we'll touch on in a bit. And it also has no price announced yet, which is pretty important to look at. So the next truck we should take a look at is the Badger pickup truck, which is very similar to the pickup trucks that you would see from Ford or GM. It has up to a 600 mile range. It has both a hydrogen fuel cell and electric configuration. So the starting price is $60,000 for the battery electric configuration and $80,000 for the hydrogen fuel cell configuration. So you're probably wondering, what the heck does hydrogen fuel cell even mean, and how does that compare to battery electric vehicles like the Tesla? Just to be clear, I'm not a scientist. This is all what I've read online. But just a quick recap at a very high level, I'll add some links down below for more research. But what I found is electric batteries are more efficient when it comes to getting the most miles out of it. And you can see from this infographic, it's a lot more efficient than hydrogen fuel cells. The other thing to note is that there are more charging stations with Tesla's supercharger network, with ChargePoint's charging network. There's a lot more electric chargers out there in the US. According to a study done in 2019, there were less than 100 total hydrogen fuel cell charging stations in all of America, and most of them were concentrated in California. So you can see charging can be a huge problem for these hydrogen fuel cells. The other thing to note is that hydrogen is way more expensive. The main benefits for hydrogen are it's faster refueling, much faster, on a scale of 3 minutes to fully charge, compared to an electric vehicle might take over 30 minutes. And it has a higher density energy storage. So you can store a lot more energy and go a lot further on a single charge than you could with a battery. And so generally what I've found is that for the consumer passenger vehicles, batteries and electrics make a lot more sense because it's cheaper, it's easier to use, it's more efficient, and it's very easy to set up a charging station right at your own home. You just plug it into the wall. The infrastructure is already there. The main thing that I've seen for hydrogen is it might actually make a little bit of sense for long distance, for airplanes and for cargo ships, because it's very high energy density and it's very fast to recharge. So you can think of a big truck, it needs to go very far. It also needs to make a decent amount of stops, and time is money. So fast recharging and high density energy storage is very important for these trucks. The main thing that I saw from my research though was for trucks and the long distance transportation industry, the jury's still out on whether the future is battery or whether the future is hydrogen. And Nikola is really betting on hydrogen as the main future for transportation and for trucks, which is a very interesting bet. Now let's quickly take a look at Nikola's financials, which to be honest aren't very good, but I think it's still worth a look. So Nikola has an $8 billion market cap, which is pretty small, but it's actually pretty large when you look and see that they basically have no revenue. There was actually a huge controversy where their only revenue was actually selling and installing solar panels onto an executive's house. And again, they don't even do anything related to solar. So as you can see, they basically have no sales yet. They haven't really manufactured anything yet, and they haven't made any deliveries yet. And right now, they're actually really trying to make a deal with GM for their Badger pickup truck that's worth about $2 billion. This deal would actually get GM to manufacture a lot of their pickup trucks for them. If they can close this deal, I could maybe see why this stock is worth $8 billion, because again, this is a $2 billion deal. But right now, they really have no sales and no deliveries to actually show for anything. And then we should also actually look at their other controversy. So there's actually a research report released by Hindenburg that basically showed all of their core technology they lied about. We can even see from their marketing video, we can see that this truck seems to be moving on its own accord. It seems like it's a truck that's driving, right? The Hindenburg report actually showed that this truck is rolling down a hill. It has no working hydrogen fuel cell technology, and it basically just has brakes, and there's just camera trickery to make it seem like it's moving along when it's truly just rolling down a hill. And so I don't really know what to make of this Hindenburg research report. I think the jury's still out. People are still trying to understand and trying to uncover a lot more evidence. The SEC has made a few inquiries into this, but I think if you truly believe in this report, like there's a lot of red flags here, and there's a lot of reasons to not invest in Nikola. But let's assume that you still, believe in Nikola as a company. You still don't believe in the Hindenburg report fully. If we just take a look at Nikola's strategy, what they're really betting on is hydrogen fuel cells as the future. They really don't think battery electric is the future for trucking, and they believe that it's going to be high density, fast recharging hydrogen fuel cells. But I think what is really the biggest problem here is recharging. Hydrogen fuel cell stations are very far and few between. And I think right now, electric infrastructure is a lot better. So if you bet on Nikola, not only are you betting that hydrogen will win, but that Nikola can build the best hydrogen truck and sell a lot, and that they can build out the infrastructure to recharge all of these trucks all across America, which I think are really big tasks to do. And so my final verdict on Nikola is it's a pretty high risk, high reward stock. I don't know much about energy storage, but it seems like you'd really be betting that hydrogen fuel cells are the future for the trucking industry. And not only are you betting that hydrogen fuel cells are the future, but you're betting that Nikola can build the best in class truck and sell the most amount of trucks. So for those reasons, I can't really recommend Nikola unless you really understand the energy business, unless you can understand hydrogen fuel cells and understand, are they really better than battery electric vehicles? And then number two, if you understand the trucking industry, if you understand what infrastructure needs to be built out, and if Nikola's on the right track to building out recharging fuel stations all across the country. So for those reasons, I can't really recommend Nikola unless you fully understand the trucking industry and the hydrogen fuel cell industry. And with that, we kind of wrap up Nikola. And remember, make sure you know a company's product strategy before you do any investing. Make sure you do enough research that you feel confident. And last but not least, make sure you make money. Peace.